Some secrets are buried with time, forgotten beneath layers of dust and indifference. Others, like silent screams, haunt the edges of our sleep, refusing to fade. And then there are those mysteries that hang in the air for decades unanswered, leaving behind only invisible traces. This is one such tale. The formidable oak door, scarred with age and neglect, creaked ominously in the gathering gloom. Robert Miller, a man weighed down by financial despair, had inherited this house from distant relatives. Desperate for a fresh start, he'd made the difficult decision to sell it. Robert fumbled for his flashlight while Sarah clutched Lily and Tom, huddled together in the gloom. The strange sounds intensified, taking on a more deliberate, menacing quality. It sounded as if something unseen was moving stealthily around them, its presence palpable. Sarah swore she saw a fleeting, distorted shadow on the far wall, impossibly fast. Darting across the faint glow of the distant lightning, the children began to whimper. "Mommy, there's someone here." Robert meticulously studied the diary. He deciphered the cryptic hints about the portal painting. One night he returned to the manor. Following the diary's clues, he located the concealed section of the wall. As his fingers traced the outline of the faded painting, a low hum filled the air, and an otherworldly light emanated from the wall, shimmering ethereal opening. Almost transparent, yet undeniably there, materialized before his disbelieving eyes. The portal. Before placing it on the market, he, his spirited wife, Sarah, and their two bright-eyed children, Lily and Tom, decided to spend one last night there. The complete, horrifying truth slammed into Robert. That night amidst the storm, the manor's hidden portal had momentarily activated. His family hadn't been kidnapped. It had simply been drawn into that shimmering gateway, pulled to the other side. And those faint marks on the wall? Perhaps they were their last desperate attempts to cling to this reality before being irrevocably pulled through. His face was pale with fear. I think I saw something," he whispered, his voice trembling. He could step through the portal himself, into the vast, terrifying unknown, risking everything to find his family in a realm from which no one had ever returned. Or he could live with the haunting knowledge of what had truly happened, forever tormented. The cold draft from the shimmering opening beckoned, a silent invitation to a never-ending mystery. In the profound silence of Blackwood Manor, the mystery remained, chilling and utterly unanswered, leaving behind only faint echoes in the mist. And then at that precise moment, an intensely cold, unnatural gust of wind swept through the room, carrying an ancient, unsettling chill. His team scoured the manor. There were no signs of forced entry, nothing stolen, no struggle, no blood. The house was undisturbed, save for the chilling absence of the Miller family. The only peculiar findings were faint, almost invisible, scratch marks on a section of the dining room wall, and an old, leather-bound diary hidden in a secret compartment. The diary, belonging to a previous owner, spoke of strange disappearances, unseen shadows, and a terrifying belief that the manor was a gateway to another realm, through a hidden portal. When Robert bravely swung his flashlight back to where Sarah and the children had been huddled, his heart stopped. They were gone. Only their half-eaten dinner plates and empty chairs remained, frozen in time as if they had simply vanished into thin air. It was to be a small, bittersweet farewell dinner, a final acknowledgement of the crumbling legacy. Driven by terror and a creeping madness, he fled Blackwood Manor into the raging storm. Inside, a young man named Robert Miller, his face etched with worry, paced restlessly. But as dusk deepened, an unsettling quiet settled over the house, soon broken by faint, unidentifiable sounds, a rhythmic shuffling on the floorboards above, distant murmurs, and the inexplicable thud of something falling. Sarah grew uneasy, pulling her children closer. Robert, though outwardly calm, felt a cold knot of dread tighten in his stomach. His wife, Sarah, her eyes reflecting both sadness and determination, stirred a pot at the old hearth. Their two children, Lily and Tom, played quietly nearby, their laughter subdued by the heavy atmosphere of the house. A story of a night where people existed, but by morning, only their shadows remained. Like a chilling whisper carried on the wind, Whispering Pines was a town perpetually draped in a thin, cold mist, its very air thick with unspoken legends. On the outskirts stood Blackwood Manor, a desolate, sprawling house that locals simply called the Haunted House. Tales spun around it like ancient cobwebs, of entire families vanishing without a trace, of strange lights in the dead of night, and of disembodied whispers carried on the wind from its empty, echoing rooms. On this particular evening, the dying embers of a fading fire cast long dancing shadows in Blackwood Manor's grand yet decaying living room. It was their last night here, and the weight of Blackwood Manor's grim history pressed down on them. Laughter, warm and full of life, initially echoed through the manor's cavernous dining room as Sarah served their simple meal. The children, oblivious, chattered excitedly. Then suddenly, a fierce storm erupted outside. Thunder cracked, lightning illuminated the rain-lashed windows, and the entire manor plunged into terrifying darkness as the power failed. Startled by their innocent terror, Robert, flashlight in hand, stumbled back into the dining room. Robert screamed their names, frantically searching every room, but received no reply. The next morning, Detective Inspector Thorne, a weary but sharp officer, took charge. Consumed by grief and a desperate need for answers, in that terrifying moment, Robert now stood at an agonizing precipice.